Planes, trains, and automobiles. Anyone can get on a plane and fly to their dream destination, unless they're a lesbian on Southwest. Anybody can board a train and relax as they traverse the countryside, but not just anyone can drive a car. You have to practice. You have to take a test. A test that if you don't pass, your peers will laugh at you as they give you the finger while pulling out of the high school parking lot as you sit on the curb with your JanSport between your knees waiting for mommy to come pick you up. Now, in my head, it was essential that I pass this test on the first try. At 15, I was awkward at best. I had a terrible haircut where I parted it down the middle and filled it with gel, and I had a botch of concentrated acne on my nose, and getting my license would be my way of wiping my slate clean. Having failed preschool, I was old for my grade, so so I could be one of the first ones to get my license, which surely classmates would notice and forget the whore that was my face. Now, being allowed to legally operate a vehicle turned out to be an emotionally hard-fought battle for me. My driving instructor was a little Armenian man who drove an '87 Toyota Corolla that was decked out with 2 brake pedals so he could brake for me if I got lazy. I didn't learn much from him, as all we did was drive around Orange County and run his daily errands. I didn't learn about coming to a complete stop at a red when making a right, but I did learn where to take my dry cleaning. I was the white version of driving Miss Daisy. For additional practice, my dad would take me driving, and he thought it'd be a great idea to start with the basics. Stick shift in an empty Costco parking lot. Now, I don't care what anybody says, that shit is hard, and why anybody needs to learn to drive a stick is beyond me. We have cars that will now shift for you. I'm not going to take the stairs if there's an elevator there. Am I stupid? So my stick shift lesson lasted all of about 6 minutes as I kept stalling the car, which stressed my father out, who would turn and scream, "You're destroying my clutch!" Relax, Dad, it's a Saturn. But I couldn't handle it. It stressed me out. I missed my bike. I made him take me right home. And that drive was filled with just silence and rage. I'd let my dad down. He loved driving stick shift, but realized that this son was more of an automatic kid. So, on the next lesson, he gave me the keys to our Jeep Grand Cherokee. I love that car, but I was used to driving my errand buddy's Corolla, which made the Jeep feel like a Carnival cruise liner. So, and that resulted in my dad yelling at me more. He said, "You're going to hit a parked car, damn it, Kevin." And I tried defending myself, saying logical things like, "I'm learning, and this bitch is wide." He wasn't having it. So, like a parent pissed on a family road trip, I turned that car around immediately and went home. I didn't say a word to anybody. I just went inside and laid on the carpeted floor in front of the TV as my mom watched 2020, and I cried. 15 years old and blubbering about how I will never learn to drive a big car as Barbara Walters and Hugh Downs rambled on about child pornography. I couldn't get any more awkward. After months of practicing, it was actually time to take my driver's test. So, as I checked into the DMV in San Clemente, the lady behind the counter was oddly sweet for being a DMV employee. "You nervous?" she asked. "Uh-huh," I said, shaking my bad haircut up and down. "Oh, don't worry, you'll be fine, sweetheart," the nice Latina lady said with a smile, which instantly calmed my nerves. And after a brief wait, I was called outside for my test, and lo and behold, the nice lady was giving me my test. This couldn't, it wouldn't be so bad. After all, she was an angel on the inside while checking me in. But then she walked outside. Now, I don't know if she was a vampire and therefore couldn't handle sunlight, or if she had just put 2 and 2 together and realized that she was working at the DMV, but in the time it took her to walk from inside of my car, she turned into a huge cunt. Like Walmart superstore size cunt. And I don't use that lightly, she really was. As I began driving, it was like she was channeling my father. She started yelling at me. "You need to check your blind spots, look both ways," she'd holler. I'm like, "I am, I'm using my eyes." "Well, I can't tell." So I aggressively started looking both ways, just doing this business. She's like, "That's too much, you're gonna crash." So I couldn't find a happy medium, and that's when it got worse. She's like, "Kevin, what is the speed limit on the street?" It's like, 35. She's like, "And how fast are you going?" 36? She's like, "Well, you need to go faster, speed up, people are going to crash into you." Now, this just seemed like a trick. Like, the employee encouraged you to speed. I ran one light driving with my father, and he reacted like I had punched a baby. So I'm pretty sure getting a speeding ticket is an automatic fail. But to her urging, I gassed my sister's Pontiac at 48s, and she quieted down. Now, after some mundane left and right turns, and my arm just kind of flapping out the window pretending I knew my turn signals, my test was over. I parked the car, turned the engine off, took a deep breath, and looked over at the demon Lolita sitting to my right as she tallied up my mistakes. It looked like every other test I'd taken at school, just covered in red. But lo and behold, 12. You missed 12. Great, I said. I'm allowed to miss 15. Missing 12 gives me a D average, which from the little time I spent in English class, I knew was passing. But then, oh wait, she mumbled in bitch as she began marking more parts of my test off. I forgot about that stop sign, and oh, you didn't signal at that light. Oops, you didn't check your mirror. Her pen was just going crazy on my test, and I yelled at her, I'm like, stop marking my test wrong, bitch, as I screamed in my head. But she must have heard my rage because she stopped and said, okay, Poppy, you passed. And I don't know why she called me Poppy, but I didn't care. I should ask her out. I had passed my driver's test. My hair and my Rudolph-like nose would finally be forgotten. Now, having the freedom to drive gave me a newfound confidence. Like I suddenly wasn't afraid to hit on girls from the safety of my car. I would pull up at red lights next to them and shoot them a quick glance as I rolled my window up with one touch of the button, only to then put both hands on the steering wheel, look back at them and smile. Surely having an accessory like power windows would make me appear as someone so powerful that I couldn't be bothered with rolling up windows. That is for poor people. These girls would be so turned on by my machismo that they'd say to themselves, oh my God, he put those windows up without even holding down the button. How did he do that? It's incredible. I must follow him and then blow him. But shockingly, that has never come to pass. But I now realize how idiotic that thought was. I also realized that although it was amazing to finally get my license and drive, it didn't fix my hair or my acne problem. Certainly didn't give me a clean slate, but it did make me everybody's bitch, as it put me in a position to give a lot of kids rides home from school. Damn you, preschool, for holding me back and making me the oldest in my class.